Hello everyone, I hope you are having a fantastic day. It is September 30th, 2023, and this is Valerie from Stampin' with Valerie. Today we are going to use some fun stamp sets that I bought from Heidi Swapp, and this is the Hallows 22 stamp set. Look at these fabulous stamps. I love everything about this stamp set. It's just got some great Halloween stamp sets in it, and I thought we could make a couple of cute cards today. And then I also bought these fabulous numbers. These are the storyteller's numbers and the storyteller's numbers outline stamp sets. Aren't these fantastic? These numbers are, I should have measured them before we got on here. They are about 2.5 inches tall. So they're fantastic for making, you know, big numbers for journaling or scrapbooking or obviously today, Halloween cards. So we're going to use these to make 2 cards today. And so I thought it would be fun to just jump right in with these. So I did not write down my measurements, but I'm going to say them out loud right now. So get your pens and paper or pencil and paper ready. So I'm using some pumpkin pie cardstock from Stampin' Up. And this is just 1 sheet of cardstock cut in half down the center long ways, so they're 4 1/4 wide by 11 inches long, and then I scored them in the center at 5 1/2, and I don't know if you can see the score mark, but we'll fold them in a minute. Then I've got 2 pieces of Whisper White for the front of each card. They are both 3 1/2 wide by 4 3/4. Crushed curry or whatever color yellow that you have, and this is Whisper White. This is not Stampin' Up's basic white that they have now. I still have old packs of Whisper White, so that's what I'm using. This is crushed curry or whatever color yellow or dark color you want to use. You can use like another dark copper color or a brown color, whatever, it doesn't matter. You could even use black if you wanted to. That would be a fantastic, because this is going to go behind that white. So if you wanted to use black, that would be great too. But anyway, the measurements for this is 3 3/4 by 5. So it's just like a nice little frame for that Whisper White. And like I said, each card is going to basically start out like that. This we're going to use for something else, and then you just got a piece for the inside, and that's 4 by 5 1/4. That's our basic inside piece. All right, so let's just do a quick getting started by folding our card bases in half. Just get your bone folder, fold them in half. You can just set those off to the side. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pieces of Whisper White. I shouldn't have stacked those together because I knew we were going to use them. The smaller pieces, the ones that are going on the front, and we can set our little piece of foam aside for right now. And our basic black piece, because we want to use those right away. And we're going to use something fun today. We're going to use these Distress Mica Stains. These are a Tim Holtz product that a friend of mine gave to me. And I've been playing with them since yesterday. And I absolutely love them. They are a spray stain and they have a glittery shine to them. So this first one is color is called Harvest Moon. And this one is Iron Gate. This Iron Gate is like a dark charcoal silvery color, and this is a mustardy yellow color. Now you can see the mica flakes that are in there kind of get stuck on the bottom, so you have to shake these really super good before you spray them. So I'm just going to shake them both at the same time. I'm going to move my papers over. You need to have something to spray these in. So I have this nice little box and I've lined it with some paper towel. You can use a Rubbermaid container, you can use whatever you want, but I do recommend definitely lining it with some paper towel or something, because that helps absorb some of the spray. Now you can let this stuff air dry, or you can use a heat gun, which is what I'm going to do because I want it to dry fast. You want to get it all mixed up, so all of that comes off the bottom. You can see, you can hear the little ball in there, mixing it up. So get those all shaked up good, or shook up good. I always like to do a little spray on the back so I know it's sprayed good. And then just give a nice little spray onto the cards fronts. Isn't that pretty? And then we're just going to go ahead and dry that off. I should have put my do not disturb on. I hope that is not ringing onto my video right now because my watch is kind of buzzing and I forgot to put do not disturb on my phone. So let's see. I don't think it is. That's dry. Just pull that aside. I'm going to pull that up just so you can see it a little bit better. How pretty is that? Now, the more you spray it, obviously the more coverage you're going to get. I do recommend spraying first and then doing your stamping. So that's why I went ahead and sprayed this first, because I want that color on there first. Then this piece of black, I'm going to shake it just a little bit more since I let this sit. Oh, and the other thing, sorry, I should have mentioned, take that piece of paper towel and wipe the nozzle, or use a baby wipe or something, because you want to make sure the nozzle does not get clogged. Give this other one, this Iron Gate color, another quick spray. Now I want a little bit more on this, so I'm going to spray a little bit more. Look at how pretty that makes that black cardstock. Gives it that super shine. And then it's going to take a couple seconds longer to dry. You can see how the paper kind of curled up just because it got wet. You know how paper gets when it's wet. Just kind of curls up. It'll flatten out as I'm drying it. And then that will let me know that it's pretty much dry all the way once it flattens. And if it starts to kind of curl back up, then I know it curl back up toward me. Then I know it's dry. So like I can touch it now and it's not on my fingers or anything. How fantastic is that? Look at that sparkle that gave that black cardstock. You know, and the other side is still just black. And then you got that nice charcoal gray silvery print on there. Love it. All right. So now I'm going to grab my foam. We'll do one card at a time. We're going to set one of those aside. I'm going to take this one. And the first card, I'm going to use those outline Storyteller outline numbers. And we're going to use this VersaFine Clair. This is Morning Mist. It's also a dark, it's like a charcoal gray color. I'm going to ink that up good. Make sure you can't hardly see it from where you're at, but I've got it inked up. And I'm going to put that 31 right here in this right-hand corner. Because 31 for October 31st. Look at how cute that is. I went a little bit off, but that's all right. We still got that 31 on there. And then we'll leave that out because we're going to use that for a couple other things on here. We're going to use it for a spider web up in the left top corner. We'll get that spider web inked up. What I like about this ink, it dries pretty quick. It's just a really nice ink. I think I might have just smeared that. Oh, no, I didn't do too bad. I smeared a little bit right here because I kind of moved it around. I went a little wonky with it, but that's my own fault. I did that all on my own. Was not the ink's fault. Then we're going to stamp the sentiment All Hallows Eve. And that same, I'm going to put it right above the 1 here and the 3. Kind of in between the 3 and the 1, kind of on an angle. How cute is that? Love it. And as I'm doing these, I'm setting my stamps off to the side. I need to put this one back over here because we're going to use it for our second card as well. We're going to use the same sentiment for both cards. And then we're going to put some cute little pumpkins, and we're going to use some of the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide inks. And I thought these were perfect. The carved pumpkin, dried marigold, and peeled paint. So we'll start with carved pumpkin. And we're going to use that for the larger pumpkin that we're going to put on the left. Now he doesn't want to get ink in the center there. We got him. Sometimes you got to swish it around a little bit. And the reason I'm using the matte is because when you use a lot of the solid silicone stamps, clear stamps, sometimes it's hard to get a good image. You can see a little bit in the center where I didn't quite get good ink coverage, and that's okay. I'm not worried about it because we're going to put a little face on this guy in a minute and he'll be okay. And I'm going to actually use Memento ink for that instead of this because I want the actual to be a dark black, not the charcoal gray. We're going to use some dried marigold for the next little pumpkin. He's going to be a little bit lighter and he's going to go over that 3. A little bit. And a little bit over the other pumpkin. Just kind of like, you know, when you see pumpkins next to each other, they're kind of stacked, one in front of the other. Cover those up. And now these inks are kind of great. They dry pretty quick too, I've noticed. And they do give really good coverage. And these are kind of new. I've never really used these before until a couple of weeks ago, and I really like them. And we've got a couple of little stems. There's 2 different stems that come in this Hallow's 22 set. We've got the little plain stem, and then we've got a little stem that has a little curly Q, and you'll be able to see that once I put it on this pumpkin here. So he's got a little curly Q on him. And you can see how easily you can stamp over top of that mica spray or that mica stain. It's easy to stamp over, at least, you know, this color for me. You still get that shimmer on your card, but once I stamped over with this distress ink, you can't really see that stain under here. I know this is a lighter color and I didn't do as much on the bottom. So obviously if I did it thicker, you might be able to see it through there. I haven't tried that yet, but maybe we'll do that in another video and we'll see how much it, you know, comes through. So we're gonna do a little spider because we got to add a nice spider. So I figured we'd do him in Memento so he's good in black. And we want it to be coming off from this spider web coming down. So see how the Memento black is obviously darker than this charcoal gray. And then we're going to do the jack-o'-lantern face. And now the nice thing about this set is you can make your own little jack-o'-lantern face. So I had options. There were different eyes, you know, 3 different eyes, 2 different noses, and 2 different mouths. I just chose this mouth and this nose here. But you can do like the little evil eyes, the little, you know, squinty eyes, like he's laughing. And I just kind of chose the traditional little face. So that we've got all of that. Let me cover the ink up because you know how I am. I will stick my fingers in it because that's what I do. I'm going to save this piece of black for the next card. Go ahead and get some adhesive on this. So we're going to stick this directly onto that crushed curry piece of cardstock. Get it onto our card front. This is kind of a simple stamping. There's nothing, I didn't make anything, you know, punched up on it with dimensionals or anything like that. So it's more of a simple stamping card. But I still think it turned out super cute. I am gonna add some little sequins. I have these little sequins that are, there's like an olive green color in there, some gold, and a copper color. So I thought those would be perfect with this. So we're gonna add some of those in just a second. I should probably put my inside piece in first before I add anything to the front because I don't want to open it up and then have the sequins fall off after I try to glue them on there. Because these sequins are so tiny that a glue dot would be too big, even the small glue dots. So let's go ahead and put that in there. Let's stamp a little spider on the inside. I think a little spider would be cute on the inside of this guy. We'll just put a little spider over here in the corner. Adorable. We've got him in the center. He's super cute. We'll grab some shimmery crystal effects, which is kind of like glossy accents glue. It's pretty similar. And I'm just going to put a couple little dots where I want to put my little tiny little, that's probably too much. It's hard to get super tiny dots of this out as much as you want to get just tiny dots. It just never quite works exactly the way you want it. So I'm going to scoop a little bit of this one off with my pick tool. So I've got some alcohol wipes. I'll just wipe that right off. And then we'll take your pick tool. We'll grab a little copper one. Stick it on there. I think I'm going to go with all copper ones if I can get a hold of them. There's another copper one. This gold one we'll put back because we're going to try to get copper. There we go. Got it. Now I got to see where I put my little dot of glue. There it is. Oh. Taking the other ones off while I'm putting the new ones on. Super cute. And I could add a couple more. Maybe I will do that later, but we'll just add 3 for now because that's just adorable. What do you think of that one? How cute is that? Super easy to mail. And it would be adorable to send to a grandkid or give it to your son or daughter or niece or nephew. And just a little cute Halloween card. Nothing scary. It's just adorable. So we'll set that one aside right here so you can still see it. I think you can still see it anyway. Let me look. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Open it up a little bit so you can still see it. And then we'll go ahead and get started on the next one. So we've got our Whisper White piece of paper that we already sprayed with the Harvest Moon Mica Stain. And then we're going to use the Storyteller numbers that's filled in. And we're going to use that VersaFine Clear ink in, what was it called? Morning Mist. Make sure I've got it nice and inked up. But we're going to go to the opposite side this time. My head might be in the shot here because I'm trying not to go off the paper this time. We're going to go to that left side of the cardstock this time. That turned out beautiful. Look at that. Got it. Pretty proud of myself, let me just say. We're going to put that same sentiment, All Hallows Eve, again, with that Morning Mist. And we're just going to go a little bit kind of the opposite direction, but still around that 31. We're going to do our pumpkins again, because why not? Except we'll do them opposite this time. We'll do the big one in the dried marigold. I knew it was marigold, but I couldn't remember what the first word was. In the dried marigold, make sure you get good coverage on there. We'll still do it on the outside. Perfect. And then we'll use some carved pumpkin, and we'll do that smaller pumpkin in the carved pumpkin color. Again, move it around, get that good coverage. And we'll go over top of that number 1 a little bit. Get some stems on them with that peeled paint. I love this peeled paint color. Green's my favorite, so anytime there's a good green, I'm super excited about it. And this is a really good green. I love this color. I actually gave them the exact same stems I did last time. Gave the plain stem to the small pumpkin and the big stem to the other one. I'm not going to put a face on this one. I'm just going to leave it plain. And then we're going to do something fun with this black cardstock that we gave the shimmer to. I'm going to set all of our inks aside here. I'm going to move our card over a little bit. I'm going to get rid of our foam mat because we don't need that right now. We can start putting this together a little bit, and then we'll get our fun stuff done with our black cardstock that we sprayed with the Iron Gate mica stain. Love that mica stain. It's so fun. My friend that introduced that to me, she knows I'm going to be addicted to it now because I'm going to have to buy tons of colors of it now to do a bunch of different things with it. And she told me these, my kind of cardstock kind of went up with that. These colors were last year's colors, I guess. Tim Holtz comes out with new colors every year for the mica stains. And these were last year's colors. So I'm like, okay, so there's new colors for this year for Halloween colors. So now I'm going to want those too. So I'm going to be like penniless by the time I get done buying mica stains. But y'all are going to benefit from that because I'll be showing you fun things to make with them probably. So here we go. We'll just get that inside piece done. And we've got this All Hallows Eve 31, and we've got our pumpkins on there. We've got our piece of black cardstock, and then we're going to use this Retired Spooky Bats punch. Now this punch is one of the hardest punches I have to punch my bats out with. It always takes me a little bit of extra to get them to punch out because we're going to add bats to this card because they're so cute. And we're going to punch out some more. We're just going to got to give it a little extra muscle to get them out. But I got them. There we go. And you can see the difference, like when you have them both on there, when you've got just the black or you've got that beautiful pearlescent, we'll call it pearlescent color on there. But what I want to do with these bats is I want to give them some dimension. So I'm going to hold their wings, and I'm going to use my bone folder, and I'm just going to kind of fold them around the tip of the bone folder so their wings are up. And I'm going to do that with all the bats. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of them on this card or not. And actually, I might leave a couple of them flat. I might put one on the inside of the card. We'll save that one for the inside. Of course, we got another little one here. So if you were mailing this card, you would want to just put it, put everything flat on the front probably. But if you're not mailing it, go ahead and pop those bad boys up like I'm doing. We'll put this little one on the inside, or medium-sized one on the inside. We'll just give him a little bit of glue. We'll put him up at the top. So he's a nice little surprise when they open their card. And then we'll just put a little bit of glue just around the body of the bats, because that's the only part that you want, glued down, because you want their wings up. Which way do we want this little bat going? He needs to go this way. Then we've got the other two. We've got another bigger one. He should probably go there. We'll do another smaller one there. How cute is that? What a cute three-dimensional little card. How adorable is that? Look at two little cards, similar, but quite different. And you can easily make these with those stamp sets. If you have different numbers, use some different numbers, use some different pumpkins, whatever you have, and just go with it. These are super adorable, but I would totally recommend getting some mica stains if you want to add some super shimmer and easily add shimmer to any of your cardstocks, because this is fantastic and it's totally addicting. I'm gonna tell you right now, completely addicting, and you will love it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and bye. See you next time.